25 years. Your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
Number 17. Walk-off hit.
The rain has subsided, and we will have baseball on a cool night in downtown Minneapolis. The Twins open a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox. These teams met at Fenway just a week ago, and Minnesota, for the second time in a row, won 3 of 4 games against the Sox in their home ballpark. They did it with an explosive offense, scoring 31 runs in the 4-game series while holding Boston to just 18. Minnesota now looks to turn the tables on a Boston team that has won 5 of the last 6 here at Target Field. With Tom Kelly, I'm Anthony LaPanta. Minnesota is sitting in a much better spot than they were at this time a year ago. They were 16 games under 500 and had been outscored by 70-plus runs. This year's team within striking distance of 500, and they've actually outscored their opponents.
Correct.
What are some of the areas where you think you've seen the most improvement?
I like the lineup a lot. I think it's stronger. It's more balanced. I like the way Gardy's been able to split Morneau and Maurer with Willingham. And once Willie gets hot again, it's going to be devastating.
Offensively, Minnesota's scoring more runs. They're also catching the ball better.
I think so. The defense worked extremely hard in spring training, and I think it's starting to show on the field. Again, I think we're stronger with Hicksey in center field. It makes everybody else better on his wings. Defense up the middle has been excellent. Florimon, Dozier, Jamie Carroll, wonderful defensive players.
And a couple of new faces, but yet very good results in the bullpen.
The bullpen has been, I think, second in the American League, as we can see on the graphic, but it sets up real good. We got some lefties down there in Dunsing, and of course our closer, Perkins, and again some right-handers, and Jared in front of him. Burton's done a terrific job. So it sets up good. And Perk said something about a 7-inning game. It might be getting to that point.
Tonight, in order for Minnesota to hand the ball to the bullpen with a lead, they must find a way to beat Clay Buchholz. We'll have the scouting report with Dick Kramer and Bert Blyleven next.
is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designate a driver.
The Twins have been right around the 500 mark almost all year long. Above 500 for 11 games, at 500 for a dozen, and below 500 where they find themselves tonight in the opening game of this 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. Dick Bramer, Burt Blyleven with you from Target Field. Beginning of the year, the Twins had high hopes for Vance Worley. He was the cornerstone of the trade with the Phillies. They put Worley in the opening day spot in the starting rotation, and they're still waiting to see the pitcher that they thought they were getting.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Rick Anderson. A little different bullpen outing for Vance Worley, getting ready for this ball game. You see the hitter up at home plate. One thing Rick Anderson wanted Vance Worley to do in his warm-ups, trust your fastball. Hit both sides of your plate with your fastball. You got plenty of time during the ball game to work on the other stuff. But right now, Worley is out there. He's working on that fastball, hopefully hit both corners.
Twins hope to get 7 innings from Worley. That hasn't been a problem for John Farrell when he sent Clay Buchholz to the mound. He's pitched at least 7 in every start except his start against the Twins.
Yeah, he only pitched 6 innings against the Twins, gave up 4 runs. It's the only non-quality start that Buchholz has had. 2 no decisions, or he has not won over his last couple ball games, but this guy is a tough cookie. We'll see how he fares against the Twins.
Twins took 2 out of 3 for 3 out of 4 against the Red Sox at Fenway Park. They really would like to get a series win here in their final series of this long homestand.
The Twins were in Boston wrapping up a long road trip. Now the Red Sox come to Minnesota as the Twins wrap up a long homestand. And the series in Boston, maybe the highlight of the year for the Twins. They took 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox and John Farrell at Fenway Park. But now this homestand has been a bit of a disappointment because the Twins have lost a couple of series. So we'll see if they can win this finale in the final series of the year against the Red Sox. The Menards batting order for Boston: Jacoby Ellsbury, Daniel Nava, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Will Middlebrooks, Stephen Drew, Johnny Gomes, Mike Hart, and then Jared Saltalamacchio.
Well, Vance Worley on the mound, making his 9th start, his 2nd against the Boston Red Sox. He started in Game 1 in Fenway Park, and remember the Twins lost that ball game, but it went 11 innings. They lost that game 6-5, and Worley pitched pretty good in that outing. The first 3 innings, he put zeros on the board, and that's what the Twins would like out of Worley here. Too many runs in that first inning. 15 of his 34 runs allowed have come in the first inning.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins: Oswaldo Arcia in left, Aaron Hicks in center, Chris Parmalee in right, Bluth, Florimone, Dozier, Morneau, the infielders. Joe Mauer came to the ballpark today with a stiff back, available only under emergency circumstances tonight. So Ryan Doumit does the catching and Worley on the mound. Red Sox coming into this Twins series on a high note. Big come from behind win late in the ball game last night against the Rays. Got to the Twin Cities in the early morning hours, middle of the night hours. And Jacoby Ellsbury in the box, and he takes an off-speed pitch over for strike 1.
Ellsbury, a guy you want to keep off the bases. 12 stolen bases so far this year. And Worley works ahead in the count.
0-2. Rain for a good part of the day here in Minneapolis. It stopped late in the afternoon. Both teams got batting practice in. Missing inside.
Ellsbury in his 7th season with the Boston Red Sox.
One and 2. Breaking ball misses. Worley in his bullpen session said he found something that he has been missing so far this year. Late movement and life, 2 elements that I think would be critical for a sinker slider pitcher.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is working out front. Don't lead with your palm. Keep the ball down in the strike zone. Doumit giving him a good sign, and you saw a little movement right there, but missing down and away.
Full count now to Ellsbury.
You want this guy to make contact right here, Ellsbury. No free passes. And Worley's done a pretty good job of that. Only 9 walks in 39 innings pitched.
Chopper, and Worley finally puts Ellsbury away. 1 down. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, I mentioned Worley, having some trouble early innings. Well, you see the high earned run average and also the pitch count. Too many pitches, and you add those together, that's 40 some pitches, 50 pitches in the first 3 innings. So that's one thing that I think he and also Mike Pelfrey need to do a little better job of, is going about 30 to 40 pitches in 3 innings rather than 50, 55 in the first 3 innings.
He has this going for him tonight. Shane Victorino is not in the lineup for the Red Sox. He has a back issue of his own. Daniel Nava is in right field hitting second. Victorino, Worley's old teammate, former teammate with the Phillies, went 3 for 3 against Worley with a home run at Boston. And as much as he was hoping for a rematch here and a better night against his former teammate, doesn't look like Victorino's going to play tonight, and maybe not for the whole series. 1-1. And Nava takes low, 2-1.
Vance Worley, 25 years old, came over from the Phillies in the Ben Revere trade, along with right-handed pitcher Trevor May, who's in Double-A for the Twins.
And May had a bit of a disappointing outing in Double-A last night. Twins fans are aware of these names, and they're hopeful that the Mays and Alex Myers, guys of the world, guys in the minor league world, will quickly make their way up here to contribute up here. Another 3-ball count, 3-1 to Nava. Swing and a miss. So another 3-2 count to the number 2 batter. 12th pitch of the inning.
Yeah, Worley coming off his first win as a Twin. He beat the Baltimore Orioles 8-5 here last Saturday.
Flipped foul off the bat of Nava.
Nava, switch hitting outfielder for the Boston Red Sox.
These are fouled away, but you see the location of that pitch, and that's the key for Worley. And what's happened, he has left far too many pitches up around the belt instead of at or below the knees.
Yeah, he came into this ball game 66 hits allowed in 39 innings pitched. And then you throw those 9 walks. That's a lot of base runners.
Maybe shook off the slider, back to the fastball. Popped up and out of play. And this has been a problem too for Worley, Pelfrey. A lot of 2-strike fouls that extend the at bat and add a lot of pitches onto the pitch count.
Well, I think the big thing, Dick, is that we really don't have a pitching staff that has that guy that's going to strike out, 7, 8, 9 guys a ball game. You see the Fox tracks right there on the pitches to Nava.
15th pitch of the inning. Might have hit the rubber, backhanded, and a wild throw by Dozier into the camera well. So it'll be a single and an error, advancing Nava to second base.
Yeah, that ball slipping out of the hand of Dozier. Maybe didn't have a chance at Nava anyway, because he gets down that line pretty quickly. Dozier had to go a long way for this ball. Only his second error of the year. Ball hit right over the mound. Dozier gets it and then airmails it over the head of Justin into the camera well.
So a long at bat ends up with Nava at second base, and here's Dustin Pedroia, 5th in the American League in hitting. And Worley starts him with a strike. Pedroia with just the 1 home run. It came against the Twins in that 4-game series in Boston. Swing and a foul.
This guy's kind of the heart and soul of the Boston Red Sox. At 5'8", that's what they list him. But I saw him, talk to him before the ball game, and he didn't seem 5'8". Thought I was talking to one of my grandkids. But he's already in his 8th season with the Red Sox. American League MVP in 2008.
Foul back. Hitting 3rd in the Boston lineup this year. You see the league leaders in hitting. James Loney of the Rays leading Miguel Cabrera by a point, then Mauer, who will very likely not even pick up a bat today. 2 strikes to Pedroia. 1-2. Roll to the right side. Dozier has an easier play. Out number 2. On to third is Nava. And that'll bring up David Ortiz.
Already a lot of pitches. 20 pitches in this first inning. 13 strikes.
Everything's been kept in the infield. 3 ground balls, 1 for the infield hit. Ortiz 0 for 5 against Worley. And Ortiz has cooled off after a torrid start. He's hitting well over 400 when we were in Boston. He's had an oblique pull. He still has Achilles tendon issues. He's physically not 100%. Nice block by Doman with the runner at third, ball one.
I started the season on a disabled list, and when he was activated, boy, was he red hot. Like you were talking about, Dick, 15-game hitting streak right off the get-go and hitting over 400. He's cooled down a bit.
At the knees, a strike, 1-1. One and one. Check swing, and he shaves the corner on an off-speed pitch. That seems to be the bigger breaking ball rather than the hard slider. And Gardenhire said that's a nice pitch for him. He doesn't throw it that often, but I think we've seen it a couple of times here in this first inning. Foul back, and a fastball left up around the letters.
Yeah, see, that's the one you want to eliminate if you can. That ball left right there. Ortiz, maybe because of the slow pitch before, not quite on that fastball, but he fouled it straight back. You do not want to make that mistake again.
Yeah. And those are the types of pitches that have gotten Worley in trouble, not just in the first inning, just way too many pitches above the knees. And another foul. Well, here we are with
back to that slow breaking ball again.
But look at this. We got 25 pitches on the board here, and he's still looking for the third out.
David Ortiz, 37 years old, already in his 17th major league season, of course, with the Twins from 1997 to 2002. And went over to Boston. And he has been a hero there.
And a liner to right. Ortiz drives in a run, and it's 1-0 Boston.
Well, pitch left up, and David Ortiz hitting it sharply into right field. His 23rd RBI of the year. Location, location, location. That ball about thigh high, not a lot of movement. And Ortiz smacks it into right.
Will Middlebrooks, who got maybe the biggest hit for the Red Sox this year, and there have been a lot of them already. But a 2-out, 3-run double against Fernando Rodney in the 9th inning last night that turned a loss into a win for Boston.
Yeah, Boston comes in with 24 wins, 17 losses, 1 game behind the Yankees.
Worley up to 90 miles per hour, and again he gets ahead 0-2. One and two. Red Sox, frankly, lucky to have Middlebrooks available to them after the collision he had with David Ross, the catcher, near the Twins dugout in Boston. Both players banged up. Ross still on the disabled list. Fouled away.
This young man has a lot of power.
Here's Middlebrooks' big moment against Fernando Rodney. Down to their last strike, a big 3-run double against a divisional opponent. Tapper to third. Plouffe sets, fires to end the inning. It'll be an unearned run, but a run nonetheless. It's Boston 1. The Twins coming back. series of this 3-series homestand. And Ron Gardenhire within that, hoping to get to 500 in his career mark against the Red Sox. The Menards batting order without Joe Mauer, who has a stiff back. Brian Dozier leading off. Chris Parmelee hitting second in the lineup. Josh Willingham, the designated hitter, hitting third. Then Morneau, Domet, and Arcia. Plouffe, Hicks, and Florimon.
And for the second time this season, the Twins will face Clay Buchholz, making his 9th appearance. Had a no decision in Fenway Park against Vance Worley. And again, Boston won that game 6-5 in 11 innings. In that outing, 6 innings, he did give up 4 runs, all earned, to the Twins. The most runs he'd given up in an inning. Great numbers. He's allowed only 1 home run so far this year.
Dozier, Parmelee, and Willingham to face Buchholz. The Twins kind of ambushed Buchholz in Boston. In game 1 of that series, they jumped on him for a couple of runs by ambush. He still only gave up 2 runs, but 5 straight batters reached. He gave up 8 hits, 5 of them doubles against the Twins. But it's almost like it took him an inning or 2 to have the alarm set, and then he just looked more like the pitcher who was 6-0 at the time and eating up innings 7, 8, or 9 at a time. 1 strike to Dozier. Foul, and it's 0-2.
Buchholz, good fastball, very good curveball, has a hard slider and a changeup in his 7th season with the Red Sox. Off to one of his better starts.
116 pitches in the start against the Twins, the only one where he hasn't gone at least 7 innings. Dozier with a rocket. Nice play by Pedroia, and he throws him out. What a great play by Dustin Pedroia.
I mentioned this guy's the heart and soul for the Boston Red Sox. What a great play by Pedroia, going far to his right, diving, and coming up with a great play. 2-time Gold Glove winner. Plays that short hop ball almost by him, but he gets the out at first.
So 1 down, and here is Chris Parmelee. And a check swing taken for a strike.
And with Mauer out of the lineup, Chris Parmelee moved up into that number 2 hole for this first game of this 3-game series.
Out in front of the changeup, and it's 0-2 to Parmelee. 5 pitches, 5 strikes from Buchholz. Twins winning 3 out of 4 in Boston. It's the only series they've won in their last 6 series.
Saltalamacchia catching Buchholz. Going to a slider. Buchholz, 28 years old. This is his 114th major league start. 52 wins, 32 losses. That's 5 complete games, 3 shutouts, and one of those shutouts a no-hitter.
2-2 to Parmelee. Well, 3rd strike, 2 down. Buchholz hit his spot. Saltalamacchia set up over the inside corner, and Buchholz struck him out. Northland Ford defense for the Red Sox. Johnny Gomes getting left field. Ellsbury in center, Nava in right. Middlebrooks, Drew left side of the infield. Pedroia, Carp right side of the infield. Mike Napoli just getting a night off. And then if you squint, you can read the catcher. If you use a different font for Jared Saltalamacchia. Here's Willingham. Ball 1. Willingham went into yesterday's off day. And he hopes at the end of one of the worst slumps of his career.
Well, pretty good numbers against Buchholz. Not a lot of at-bats, but 4 hits and 6 at-bats.
Pounded foul, 1-1. Twins facing Buchholz twice, but they're done with the Red Sox after this series. They won't face John Lester once, missing him again in this series. Breaking ball over the inside corner, 1-2.
Buchholz making his, there's John Lester. Buchholz making his second start here at Target Field. His 7th career start against the Twins. 3-1 lifetime.
1-2. There, Cooper rings up Willingham. A pitch he thought was outside. A couple of strikeouts. And a 1-2-3 first inning.
Field. Chris Parmalee received quite the surprise when he came to the ballpark today and saw that he was slated to hit in the 2 spot tonight. Parmalee said he has never hit second in his career. The closest he's been to that was when he was the leadoff guy in high school. But Chris told me he is excited about the opportunity. He says it's nice to kind of mix it up a bit. And even though he says he won't really change anything about his approach, he knows his job tonight is to get on base for guys like Willingham and especially Justin Morneau, given the hot streak he's riding lately. So Dick and Bert, let's hope Chris Parmalee can settle in to that new 2-spot role he's in tonight.
Well, thank you, Jamie. I think the hope is that Chris can be a productive hitter in the lineup. I think everyone is crossing their fingers that Joe Mauer will be back in the number 2 spot tomorrow. Stephen Drew leading off the second for Boston. It'll be Drew, Gomes, and Mike Karp. And a strike. When we were in Boston, Drew was hitting 9th for the Red Sox. And he got things turned around like the Twins hope Parmalee can get things turned around. And now look, he's hitting 6th.
Yeah, the month of April was not what Drew wanted, but the month of May has been better in his first season with the Red Sox.
2 strikes.
Drew signing as a free agent over the winter. Last year, split the season between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Oakland A's.
Breaking ball, missing low.
Well, we talked about pitch counts of Worley and right off the get-go, and too many pitches in that first inning. 31.
Driven to left. Garcia has to make an adjustment at the end. That ball nearly sailed over his head. He seems to have a much more difficult time with line drives in left field than right field.
Well, you talk to outfielders, you know the ball always comes at you a little different. Right here, Drew taking that good sinker and hitting it sharply, but
You can see that Arcia had to leap at the last second to get that ball.
Now, left field is not a foreign position to him. He's played it in winter ball in his native Venezuela, but professionally for the Twins, he spent most of his time in right field. Here's Gomes. Gomes with just 2 home runs for the Red Sox, but one of them a grand slam against the Twins.
Yeah, he's always a guy that the average is low, but the power numbers are there. Big swing right there through his breaking ball. Gomes signed as a free agent over the winter by the Red Sox, signed a 2-year deal.
We just saw Gomes swing and miss. It's been one of the issues for Worley with batters with 2 strikes. He can't seem to have a throw a pitch to get another swing and a miss.
Ooh, left that ball up, but Gomes hit it sharply right at Florimon.
2 down. And before Mike Hart comes to the plate, when you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise bought at Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options. Learn about the cool benefits that come along with Twins season tickets. A couple of well-hit balls for a couple of outs in the second. And now Mike Carp. Mike Napoli's had a good first year with the Red Sox. Not on the lineup tonight. John Farrell saying he's just giving him a night off. Red Sox got into town about 5 o'clock this morning. 2-0.
Carp also a newcomer to the Boston Red Sox this year. Last 4 seasons with the Seattle Mariners.
3-0. There's Napoli. The Red Sox hope he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Saltalamacchia on deck if Carp reaches. And a 4-pitch walk. It's Carp aboard. That will bring up the Boston catcher.
Batting ninth for Boston, the catcher number 39, Jared Saltalamacchia.
Saltalamacchia doing the catching. And hitting ninth. Mentioned the backup catcher, or at least he was when we were in Boston. David Ross has been put on the concussion list. And he's still suffering from concussion symptoms. Down the middle, a strike.
Doing a good job of getting strike 1, 7 of 9. And again, too many pitches. 45 pitches now. Worley threw a season high 111 pitches in that win over the Orioles, but he only worked 5 1/3 innings. Gave up 11 hits, 5 runs all earned, but got the win.
Three and one to the number 9 batter. You know, we're approaching the quarter pole of the season. Twins have almost played 40 games. And tonight starts a stretch of 17 games in 17 days against some tough teams like Boston, Atlanta, Detroit. Next off day coming up June 3rd. Here's a ball sliced foul. And in the next 17 games, Worley figures to get 4 of those starts. And if you believe, as I do, these 17 games are really going to be telling for this Twins team. They need Worley to step up and give the Twins consistently really good starts. 3-2, and a high fastball gets a strikeout, and Worley is off the mound. Preston Morneau will lead off the bottom of the second with the Twins down 1-0. Clay Buchholz, tough under any circumstances. His lineup gave him a 1-0 lead early. Now the middle of the Twins lineup. Time now for the Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index with Morneau and teammate Mauer doing awfully well since Game 3 at Fenway Park between the Red Sox and the Twins. And Morneau 8 for 16 in his career against Clay Buchholz, and hitting .469 the last week and a half, roughly.
On an 11-game hitting streak, where he's hitting .422.
Morneau flips it foul. The Red Sox putting an infield shift on for Morneau. I believe it's the third baseman, Middlebrooks, who's over where Pedroia would normally be playing. 2 strikes. Fastball got him. 3rd straight strikeout for Buchholz.
Kind of went up the ladder right there with Justin, and Justin swinging at a high fastball. Justin knew he should not have swung at that.
There's Ryan Doman. When the Twins had some early success against Buchholz and held him to just 6 innings pitched and well over 100 pitches. That was Buchholz's first start after Jack Morris and another Toronto broadcaster accused Buchholz of loading the baseball up, coating his left arm with suntan lotion or whatever they determined it was, but his left arm, and he goes to it regularly, was shining, and his right arm, his throwing arm, was not.
Well, I think what he has more on the left arm is more rosin than anything, just where he pats rosin, and you're allowed to do that.
1-1 to Doman. Hold up the line.
I would look more at his hair than I would his left arm, because I know that they say, you know, he wets his hair a lot, but you can see he does wipe, but and goes to the left wrist area.
He douses himself with water. Head, hair, jersey, everything.
Yeah, Gaylord Perry did that too. It's a pretty good changeup right there, down and away.
4 straight strikeouts.
4 straight strikeout.
Batting 6 for the Twins, the left fielder number 31.
2 gone. Here's Arcia.
Took something off this pitch, and good sinker right there. Could almost see him turn it over.
So 2 down, and here's Arcia. Up and away, ball 1. Arcia had a great series in Boston. Hits, some extra base hits. He pulled the ball. He hit the ball hard to left field. Hasn't done much during his homestand yet. Popped it foul. Out of play, 1-1.
I think Tom Kelly said it best. You know, first time around, they're going to see, hey, this guy's a pretty good fastball hitter. Let's mix in some breaking balls. Second time around, I think we'll have to wait and see.
We've certainly seen plenty of spinners in this homestand. Inside. And another fastball, and fouled it back, 1-2.
Well, this should give you a good indication what their scatter report says about Arcia. Buchholz, pretty good curveball. That's an outstanding pitch for him. Let's see what they throw him here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and there's the 2, the 3. Fastball. He's going back to that changeup. And it struck out Doman.
And it struck out Garcia, and Buchholz has struck out 5 men in a pair of 1, 2, 3 innings. anniversary of the movie The Sandlot. We want to know your favorite character from the movie. And use the following hashtags. Benny. Sandlot Ham, SL, that's what that stands for. Kenny, Smalls, or Squints. Kids enjoying the ball game here tonight. That 20-year anniversary of the movie. I think anybody who's watched much baseball has watched that movie. You would vote for the Beast, right?
I would take the Beast.
Yep.
Well, for all those guys.
Foul back. Here's Parmalee, a big fan of Ham. And on Twitter, you know, it's amazing. I met Ham and Squints down in the field. They look exactly like they did 20 years ago, only a little older. Lifted to left, fairly deep. Arcia for the catch. Ellsbury retired 1-1. And that'll bring up Daniel Nava, who singled, went to second on a throwing error by Brian Dozier, and 2 at-bats later scored on the Ortiz single. When you see a pitcher who seems to have great command like Buchholz has displayed in the first 2 innings, it's already 1-0. I think you must realize as a pitcher, don't you, that I better not give up another run. The other guys got it going tonight.
Well, first of all, you don't want to give up any runs anyway, but when you do face a guy like Buchholz, who's been outstanding all season long, you know going in that it has to be a low-scoring game. As long as you do your part, keep your club in the game.
Two 2-0 to Nava. And Worley misses again. He walked the number 8 batter Clark. Nearly walked Saltalamacchia. Pedroia will hit next. And a 4-pitch walk.
Second walk for Worley.
Our Sanford Health injury report involving David Price on the disabled list. Left triceps strain. Didn't have the best of spring training, and the regular season hadn't been very good.
He's probably trying to pitch through that little strain, and finally they say enough is enough.
There's Pedroia. Yankees today put Andy Pettit on the disabled list with a trapezius strain. Throw to first.
Nava not much of a base stealer. Attempted only one, unsuccessful.
8 prior starts for Worley. 6 ground ball double plays. Two strikes.
Sad to say that 2 years ago today that Mr. Harmon Killebrew passed away. May 17th, 2011.
Remember it well. Think about it almost daily. We were in Seattle. Saw Harmon's widow Nita at the ballpark here today. She's in town for a charitable endeavor. Here's a grounder to second. Out there, relay to first. Double play. Worley gets what he wanted. A ground ball to Dozier and faces just 3 men in the third. by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. 1-0 Red Sox. Trevor Plouffe will lead off the third. Clay Buchholz has struck out 5 men in a row. Then you remember that Brian Dozier hit a wicked shot up the middle. Pedroia made a great play, but the count on Dozier at the time was 0-2.
Well, he's attacking the strike zone. 23 pitches, 18 for strikes so far for Buchholz.
Plouffe drives it hard to right field. First Twins hit off the base of the wall. Plouffe digging for second. Nava's throw not in time. And the Twins get the tying run in scoring position on their first hit of the night.
Well, he jumped on that first fastball. It was up a little bit, and Trevor Plouffe took it to right center. Nava plays the carom. You see the high fastball. Plays the carom off the wall. He gets it back in, but it's a leadoff double. Plouffe with his 8th double.
The more you see that, the more encouragement there is for Trevor Plouffe. He got a pitch up and away from Buchholz and drove it hard to the opposite field. We've seen Trevor do more of that this year than we did at any point last year. Here's Hicks. Middlebrooks in on the grass at third, and Hicks bluffs a bunt, takes a strike.
Well, these are the little things you have to do against a good pitcher like Buchholz. Leadoff double, you have to try to get Plouffe over to third.
Hicks hitless since his 2-homer game a few nights ago against the White Sox. There's a bunt, foul, and 2 strikes now to Hicks.
It's almost like he's trying to bunt for a base hit right there, and it's a sacrifice. Square around and lay it down toward third base.
Force Middlebrooks to play it, right?
Now Buchholz ahead in the count, 0-2.
Hicks, of course, has been prone to striking out, trying to put this ball in play against one of the top strikeout pitchers in the game. And he pulled it to the right side. And Hicks does his job, not in a bunt, but by pulling a pitch that was up and away from him.
That's a good at-bat right there by Hicks. That last swing. You could almost see him go out and get that fastball and then try to pull it toward second base. Exactly what he was able to do. So unsuccessful bunts, but you see where that ball was. That was almost in the left-handed hitter's batter's box, but able to get it past Buchholz. And good Plouffe over to third.
We'll see if the number 9 batter can get the runner in from third. Middle infield is playing back. They'll give up a run here. The corner infielders playing even with their bases. Florimon drives it deep to right. A home run. Pedro Florimon with a 2-run home run. And the Twins take the lead.
How about that? Florimon with his second home run of the year. Buchholz came into this ballgame only allowing 1. Breaking ball down and in. Florimon right down that right field line. Just clearing the fence. And the Twins take a 2-0 lead, or 2-1 lead.
That looked like that may have hit the very top of the wall, about 3 feet to the left of the pole. Here's Dozier who hit the ball hard his first time up.
And that's not Pesky's pole either.
Ball 1.
And Hicks probably saying, why did I have to move him over if you're going to drive him in with a home run? Still a good at-bat by Hicks.
And Dozier pops it up near the Twins dugout. Park can't quite make the play. Little opening there, stairway into the Twins dugout, and Carp couldn't make the play. Here's the blast off the bat of Florimone, and see whether it hits the top of the wall. Had that been an inch shorter, it would have come back on the field to play, it looked like.
Just enough.
All right, so what do we figure? The tail of the tape then. That should ought to be easy to measure when you bounce one off the top of the fence. 1-1 to Dozier. 2-1.
Well, whatever it is, I think you have to add about 3 or 4 inches.
Dozier lifts it to left center field. And Gomes makes the catch out number 2. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Caroline and Plymouth wondering how the #1 draft pick from last year, Byron Buxton's been doing. We'll show you.
Here's the pitch to Buxton. Swinging a drive, deep left field, down the line. That ball is gone! A grand slam home run!
I don't think we have to say any more. I think he's doing pretty good myself.
Parmalee in short left, middle. Brooks made the catch to end the inning. Parmalee retired. Twins are done, but a pair of hits, a pair of extra base hits, and the Twins lead it 2-1. To put the Twins up. Some fans here, youngsters, all probably present-day Sandlotters, right?
I bet.
Our Pepsi fans of the game.
A lot of little leaguers right there.
Middle of the Boston lineup, David Ortiz, Will Middlebrooks, and Stephen Drew facing Vance Worley. The run the Red Sox got against Worley in the first inning, an unearned run. He's given up 2 singles and 2 walks. 58 pitches through 3 innings, and Ortiz, who drove in the run, takes ball 1.
Yeah, they only hit 2 hits allowed in that first inning. Got the double play off the bat of Pedroia to end the 3rd inning.
Foul back, 1-1.
5 ground ball outs, 2 fly ball outs for Worley to go with his strikeout.
One and one. Taking ball off the plate. And that'll skip into center field. Worley tried to make a backhanded stab. Florimon go for it. Ortiz is aboard with his second single. Twins tickets remain available and affordable. Get fed and entertained starting at just $13. Sports Authority Value Pack Tuesdays and Thursdays include a ticket, a hot dog, and a soft drink. This and other special deals are available every day of the week at twinsbaseball.com/tickets. By calling 800-33-TWINS. Here's Middlebrooks. Bouncer to third his first time up. Driven to deep right field. Parmalee back. Makes the catch. Ortiz hustles to get back to the bag. A great catch by Parmalee. Crashing into the fence in right center.
Well, we have seen Chris Parmalee make some nice plays in right field. I'm sure that's a tough ball to judge right there. You know the center fielder Hicks is going to back up the play, but Parmalee needed every foot of that right center. And on the warning track, right against the wall, makes a very nice catch. Good concentration, caught the ball, then crashed into the wall for the first out.
You can see the pitch was a hanging slider to a hot hitter, and Middlebrooks screamed it, but Parmalee was able to make the catch. And now Stephen Drew, who lined out to Arcia in left his first time. Slow breaking ball. It just seems to me that Worley has thrown that pitch far more often than he has in other starts. Missing with it. Ball one to Drew.
A changeup, I mean, like a slow breaking ball almost becomes like a changeup if you have better control than sometimes your straight change.
There's a fastball on the outside corner.
Worley making his 55th major league start. He has 19 wins, 17 losses. There's a good fastball, just missing low.
That was very close to the pitch that struck out Parmalee in the first. 2-1. Worley got a ground ball double play to get out of the third, and now inside 3-1. Johnny Gomes on deck. The third walk issued by Vance Worley, first and second, one away.
Yeah, first time he's walked 3 batters in a ball game.
You can let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game. Text the word value and a space in the player's name to short code 234-234. Diego Florimon should get some early votes. Sharing a light moment with David Ortiz, the runner at second base. Here's Gomes. Bounce to Florimon in the second inning. Strike one.
Gomes with that open stance, very short, compact swing.
Driven to center field, and Hicks is there for the catch. Another very well hit out.
Well, you talk about short and compact, and that's exactly what Gomes did right there in his first at bat. He had a sharp ground ball to Florimon. Dropping the hands. Getting the barrel of the bat on the ball, but lining it right to Hicks in center field.
Carp drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up. He comes up with 2 men on and 2 out. Squibbed foul. Now with Ortiz at second base, it would be highly unlikely that a single would even score the run. I mean, David didn't run well when both legs were feeling good. His bit of a log jam for the Red Sox at second base. One strike. Mike Carp. Roller to short. And Florimone sets and fires, and that ends the inning. A walk, a single, 2 men left aboard. It's still 2-1 Twins.
Fifth in the American League in strikeouts, so he struck out 5 in a row from the first inning to end the second inning. But in a 1-0 Boston lead, Pedro Florimone hitting his second home run of the year, a 2-run home run, gives the Twins a 2-1 lead.
Pitches up to Josh Willingham, ball one. Willingham called out on strikes in the first inning. Willingham, Morneau, and Doman. Tack on a run or two against Buchholz. The Florimone home run, as you mentioned, Bert, just the second allowed by Buchholz, and his first since his first start of the year on April 3rd against the Yankees.
Right. He's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
That can't be the easiest home ballpark to do that in, Fenway Park. 1-1. Up and in, 2-1. Reached Buchholz for 4 runs allowed and forced Buchholz from the game with the Twins in front 4-3 in Boston a week and a half ago. And Willingham takes one down the middle, 2-2.
I think the biggest thing for Buchholz is to stay healthy. He's had some issues over the last 3 or 4 years that he has missed starts. He had some intestinal problems last year, intestinal illness last year, that he missed some starts. Year before that, stress fracture in his lower back, he missed some starts. And then even in 2010, a strained hamstring injury. But so far so good for Clay Buchholz this year.
Twins have had the right approach. You're not going to get many hits against them, so you may as well get a lot of extra base hits.
Try to swing early, because he can strike you out.
6 doubles and a home run against Buchholz, and now Willingham with a big cut, fouling it back to the screen. Mentioned in Boston, the Twins had 5 doubles against Buchholz. So far here tonight, Plouffe hit a double, Florimone hit a home run, each one on the first pitch of the at-bat. Full count as Willingham leads off the Twins' 4th. Popped up. A foul ball. Carp this time has just enough room, right almost in the tracks where he nearly caught one last inning.
Almost.
Let's hear from Junior PA announcer Dustin Green.
Number 33, Josh
kid be a junior. PA announcers, one of the benefits of some of the Twins season ticket packages.
What a great thrill for that young man.
Here's Morneau. Struck out on a head-high fastball, leading off the second. Pulled to the right side to short right field. Pedroia over to Carp, 2 down. Now, if you had that opportunity at
Anaheim Stadium,
you would have been
Jim Fergosi,
Albie Pearson, maybe. No, that might have been before your time. Jim Fergosi,
Roger Repose, Rick. I'll think about it here in a second.
Reichert?
Rick Reichert, yeah, the outfielder.
I'll think about it for you.
Thank you.
I remember a Stratomatic card.
Big bonus baby for the Angels.
3-4 and 3-5 was a home run on Rick Reichert's Stratomatic card.
Yeah, Bobby Knopp was there.
Right. Now, did you follow him closely enough where you would have pronounced Bobby Knopp's name correctly? Or would you have said Bobby Knoop?
No, Knopp.
You would have said Knopp. Okay.
He was actually one of my coaches when I was in Anaheim. He's still in baseball, Bobby Knopp.
His dad, for the longest time, lived in Wadena, Minnesota. And when I would talk with Bobby, he said, make sure you say hello to my dad in Wadena. Inside to Doman, 3-0, with Arcia to follow. And a strike at the knees. Dolan can't believe it.
That ball looked a little low. Doman asking Eric Cooper where that pitch was.
It was low. 3-1. And that's ball 4. And Arcia will get a chance with Doman aboard.
First walk for Buchholz.
Let's put this another way. The Twins were in position to hand Buchholz his first defeat in Boston, and they're leading right now. Buchholz has only given up 13 earned runs, and 6 of them against the Twins. Arcia went down swinging his first time up. Buchholz has had 3 starts, 7 innings or more, where he did not allow 1 earned run. Big slow breaking ball snaps over for strike 1.
They came into this ball game with a 1.69 ERA. Only Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners a lower earned run average at 1.53.
His start against the Twins, the only time he's given up more than 2 runs in an outing. The Twins hoping to do that again with him here tonight. Very high, 1-1. Six wins in 6 starts, and then no decisions in his next 2 starts. Had a start against the Blue Jays when he went 8 innings, gave up just a couple runs. 1-1 to Arcia. And now 1-2. I want to pass along happy 80th birthday to Marlene Temple. Watching Twins baseball tonight.
Yeah, big fan, Marlene. Happy birthday to you. Johnny Farrell in his first season as manager with the Red Sox.
Miles per hour and up under Arcia's chin. 2-2.
50 so far, 34 strikes for Buchholz. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. All 5 strikeouts came in the first 2 innings.
In succession. And now 3-2, and that will allow Domet to leave early from first. Plouffe on deck. Hart playing behind Domet. 3-2 to Arcia. Foul back.
Good swing by Arcia right there. Fastball.
Another 3-2 to Oswaldo Arcia. Ball 4, a pair of 2-out walks. Sets up Plouffe with runners at first and second. Pretty good pitchers there, off to really good starts. 8 starts for Buchholz without a loss.
Yeah. Dice K, 11, Lester 11, Beckett now with the Dodgers. He's been struggling with the Dodgers.
When the Twins faced Buchholz in Boston a week and a half ago, that's Juan Nieves making a quick trip to the mound. They forced Buchholz to have the type of inning Vance Worley had tonight against Boston. Buchholz threw 36 pitches in the first inning, and then the alarm went off, and the Twins weren't able to follow that up with another extended inning, but they did get him out of the game after 6 innings.
I remember Plouffe jumped on that first pitch last inning and hit that double to right center.
First and second with 2 away. Off the plate with the slider. Ball 1. Slower breaking ball. Maybe the straight change, missing inside 2-0.
Yeah, Buchholz in his 8 previous starts, he had 3 starts where he actually walked more than he gave up hits. 23 walks now for Buchholz in 62 innings pitched. A little slider, a little cutter.
2-1. We're at about the part of this year where last year Plouffe started taking off on one of the greatest home run binges in Twins history. And again, Buchholz clips the corner, and now it's Plouffe's turn to mutter at Aaron Cooper.
A pretty good pitch right there. Let's see what Fox Track says. Fastball. It's off to LaMacchia. Fox Track says it was outside.
And over the batter's box strike. 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. And again, the runners, particularly the lead runner, Domet, will be able to take off early. Last year at this time, starting on May 16th, Trevor Plouffe hit 18 home runs between May 16th and July 3rd. And hit just one home run prior to that, and finished that home run binge with 19. 3-2 to Plouffe. Got him with a fastball. Some control issues for Buchholz, but he pitches around it, typically with a strikeout.
Head to the 5th inning. I'm Jamie Hirsch inside the Minnesota Lottery winner's circle with a birthday boy, Jim, turning 40 years old today. And guess what? This is his first time at Target Field. So what's it like being outside? I know you said that you've been to lots of Twins games, but before inside the Metrodome. What's it like here tonight?
This is an unbelievable experience to be with my brother on my birthday and experience the game outside. First time ever.
Really great seats too, right here, pretty close to the Twins dugout. So now the pressure's on him to get you a good birthday gift, right, brother?
Yes, this is a 40th and it only comes one time.
All right, well, you guys have a great night. We're going to give you a little extra special something for your birthday, $100 worth of scratch-offs from the Minnesota Lottery. So here you go. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Enjoy your birthday, Dick and Bert.
Nice job, Jamie. Happy birthday to you, young man.
Jared Saltalamacchia leading off the 5th for Boston. He struck out in the 2nd. Worley starts him with an off-speed pitch for a first pitch strike. Happy to have Tom Kelly with us here for the 5th inning. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play. 0-2. Tom nice enough to join us for the pre and post game stuff, and then beyond that, nice enough to come up here in the 5th inning. How would you assess Vance Worley's outing so far here tonight?
Well, I think he's thrown too many pitches. I think it might be a touch better than what we've seen, but I still think there's some room for improvement here, Bert. There's been a lot of hard outs. Parmalee made an outstanding catch. The next out was a line drive to center field. We turned a nice double play for him. He's throwing, I think, okay at best, but he's getting the job done. I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah, too many pitches in that first inning, 31, but all in all, we've seen a lot of this, a lot of squaring up with the baseball.
Right.
Even though, he's only given up now 4 hits, there have been some hard hit outs.
That's correct. And sometimes you ride that. You can ride that right to the 9th inning and look up and there's some awful hard hit balls, but it may be your night and you survive. There's certain nights you pitch where, and Bert's seen it enough, obviously, when you give up some bleeders, some bloops, and they all fall in, they hit the line, blah, blah, blah. There's an error or two. And in Vance's defense, the ball that Dozier threw to first base in the first inning, that was not a very good play. So, again, he probably got been out of the inning very early.
Ryan Doman hit by that foul tip, and Tom Kelly was worried about something like, Ron Gardenhire was worried about something like this happening to Doman. If anything should happen at all, the Twins are really in a bind.
Kind of a check swing by Ellsbury right here.
Oh
boy.
Off the shin guard, and then maybe off the bare hand.
I think that's correct. Maybe right down in the wrong area code. I'm not sure where that hit him, but it's never pleasant, that's for sure.
One strike.
I thought I seen Steiny down there starting to sweat a little bit.
Joe Mauer showing up to the ballpark today with a stiff back. One strike to Ellsbury. 1-1.
Well, you want to keep that ball right about there. Hopefully Ellsbury get a ground ball, and already a double play turn for Worley.
That's a pitch down and away. Is all left-handers are trying to maybe hook it into the hole and make a first and third situation, and hopefully roll it over right to Dozier. That would be an ideal thing to happen.
1-1 to Ellsbury. Popped up to left. Arcia toward the line. Makes the catch. One away. Chris Parmley with a couple of nice plays in right field, both of them with Vance Worley on the mound.
Yeah, this was Chris Davis up. That was a Baltimore series that Parmley made a great catch. And here tonight, Parmley needing every inch of that warning track to make a nice catch. So Worley thanking Parmley.
Yeah, he should be buying
Parmley a couple times. Yes, for sure.
For sure.
Hey, Tom, as a former manager, you must appreciate that. Everybody knows it's been a tough go for Chris at the plate, but to see him continue to play well defensively in the outfield suggests some maturity on his part.
Correct. Absolutely, Dick. You can't say it any better than that. He's playing the game. He's obviously, like you pointed out, he's having trouble getting to the fastball. And if you hear Bruno talk about hitting, he'll talk about being aggressive, getting to the fastball, be ready to hit the fastball, and we'll work and adjust off the other off-speed pitches. And Parm right now is just having a hard time getting to the fastball. And I think a lot of teams have recognized this early in the season. You got to remember he was up some last year, and people got to see him some. And I think from watching Parm play for the last 5-6 years, and especially in the minor leagues, he sometimes has a little trouble getting to that number one, and you got to be able to get to that one if you're going to play in this league.
2-0 to Nava. And a liner to right center field. Hicks will cut it off. There'll be runners at first and third for Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, Hicks did a good job of cutting that ball off. Nava pretty good speed, but you want to keep him at first base to keep the double play in order.
It's mandatory that the outfielders all do that. Keep the double play in order. Get the ball into second base. Keep the infielders and give the pitcher another chance to get off the field. So
you're not going to get too many ground balls with that pitch right there. You saw a little movement, but it flattened out, and Nava ends up getting his second hit.
Vance is trying like crazy. He's a hard worker, and I've watched him so much in spring training and a lot of the drills and fundamentals that we do every day. And Dick, and you were there quite often to watch him. He's a hard worker, and if he keeps working hard, good things are going to happen for him. And I still think we can't forget the thought or dismiss the thought that he just had some surgery, and sometimes it takes people a while to get back to their good stuff and the control and the locations that they need to be successful. So I'm trying to cut him a little slack, and as long as he keeps working at it, it's fine with me.
Dolman backhands a fastball outside, 1-1 in the fourth inning. Worley pitched around a leadoff single by David Ortiz, and now in the fifth, trying to pitch around Saltalamacchia's leadoff single.
And really, the Twins have three guys in that rotation.
Correct.
With Diamond and Pelfrey and Worley that had surgery less than a year ago.
And some of them were major surgeries too with that Pelfrey fella. It's amazing he's even back pitching as early as he is, and I keep cutting him a little slack, and I think as you talked about, Bird, and Dick has mentioned about the pace of the game and stuff, we certainly like to see that picked up a little bit, and I'm sure he's trying. And again, you may give up some hits here and there, and maybe a walk or two here and there, but keep the pace of the game going, and keep your infielders and players involved, and so everybody feels pretty good about themselves, and nobody gets back on their heels. And so you're ready to play defense when the opportunity arises. But I'm Pelfrey, he's another guy that works hard, tries hard. So I got to cut him a little slack coming back and pitching.
He's trying to get a ground ball right here. He's able to do that off of Pedroia to end the third, a double play.
2-2. Pedroia takes outside. 3-2. Ortiz on deck.
In the third inning, he threw him a slider down and away that Pedroia hit the ground ball to Dozier that ended the third inning. Pedroia,
I think, gets a little pull conscious, but he can hit the ball to right field. We've seen him do it enough, but you know, that Fenway Park stuff, sometimes it's, I think, hard to get out of your head.
Runner goes, pitch lifted, foul, and out of play.
And this is the bad part about going 3-2. As we all know, he allows the runners to get going. And now what you have to hope for is a line drive of some sort that gets caught and it turns into a double play. If it doesn't happen, it's going to tie the game unless it's right back at the pitcher.
Maybe a strike him out, throw him out.
That'd work.
That's been one of the issues for
We're all
Worley.
a fan of that one.
Yeah. Been one of the issues for Worley, too. He hasn't been able to pick up many strikeouts. He gets a ground ball to second. Out there. And a double play. With the runner going, they got the double play and kept the run from scoring. And Worley gets through the fifth with the Twins up 2-1. The Red Sox over more than 100 years have learned how to play the angles and the distance at Fenway Park. Now Floramone's learning how to, you're going to hit one 326 feet, hit it to right field, right?
It reminded me of Christian Guzman dropping the bat head down on the ball and boom, and hit it off the baggie and run like hell. he could really run, and that one year he had so many triples. And but I remember him hitting the ball off the baggie so many times by just dropping the head down, the bat head down on the baseball, and a lot of young hitters can learn from that. It's a nice little swing.
1-1 to Aaron Hicks, hit a ground ball to second. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven, joined by former Twins manager Tom Kelly. You'll hear from Tom again in the postgame show.
Good news.
That's good. 1-1 to Aaron Hicks. Swing and a miss. All right, Tom, since we have you up here, and Hicks had his wonderful game in the opening game with the White Sox, but since then is now 0 for 8. What are your thoughts of Hicks on his?
I think he's putting himself in some bad positions. He's been most of the time, as you've pointed out numerous times, he's behind in the count. Always it seems to be hitting 0-2, and I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive on the first pitch and get after some of those first pitch strikes.
To left center field. Down for a hit. Ellsbury cuts it off. Hicks with a big turn. Not just a hit, but an opposite field hit for Hicks.
I think everybody in that Twins dugout, including hitting coach Tom Bernansky, has been waiting for that swing for a long, long time. That's a wonderful thing, hit that ball left center field like that.
Let's take a look at the pitch right here. Buchholz trying to go inside, but the ball came back over the plate, and Hicks dropping the barrel of the bat and hitting it sharply into left center.
There's a lot of hits on that side of the field. Some people have a hard time recognizing it, but there's a lot of them over there.
Here's Florimon. Took a curveball, the first pitch thrown to him by Buchholz, and drove one just over the wall and right. In fact, on top of the wall, and then
Beautiful.
back into the seating area.
Wonderful thing.
Oh, they always say left-handers like that ball down and in. If he get it, I think he wanted a little bit lower, but Florimon able to just drop the barrel of the bat and hit that home run.
Hicks,
good at bat.
Base stealing threat. Saltalamacchia has had some issues behind the plate, throwing runners out. And a nice hit for Aaron Hicks. This one stayed in the ballpark.
There it is. The head down. That's the most important thing. Like in golf, keep that head down. Watch that baseball. And just stroking on out there left central, it works a lot of times.
Saltalamacchia has thrown out one runner in 17 tries. That's pulled just wide of the bag.
Here's the part of the game.
Pitch inside.
Yeah, there's the part of the game where if you're managing, you want to sort of start the runner and get things going and hit and run. But Florimon hit a home run the first time, and he just hit another ball pretty good. Maybe just leave him alone, So you get torn in between on really what to do sometimes. But I would think Gardy, he likes to run, and we got a good man out there at first base to do some running, and I think a good hitter for contact to make something good happen here.
Yeah, all the speed pretty much in the lower part of the lineup. Hicks with 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Quick throw over by Buchholz.
I think if we have any runs, it's going to be a hit and run type thing here. It's counted as, I believe, 1-1.
Yep.
We're getting in that area. We'll do some hitting and running. But again, Flory seems to be swinging the bat pretty good, and maybe you want to just leave him alone. Whoa.
Low throw dug out by Karp, and then Hicks goes back. And time is called at first base.
Hicks kind of doing a little housework right there, maybe slipping a little bit.
I think we were pretty fortunate there that Buchholz threw that ball on a bounce over there, and that Karp fella had to scoop it up and come up with it to catch it.
Buchholz pretty quick too home. He'll utilize that slide step.
Hicks goes, and a pitch popped up behind third. Middlebrooks with the catch, and Hicks retreats one away.
Knowing Gardy and how he likes to manage, and you can almost suggest that was going to be a hit and run type thing coming up.
The manager giving some signs.
In spring training long enough, you think I would have learned the signs.
Well, you think fans sometimes wonder, okay, what's the difference between a straight steal and a hit and run? But what you want is one of those middle infielders to kind of go towards second base and maybe open up a hole a little bit.
Correct. And we got fortunate last inning when Dozier took a step to his right on that ground ball. We ended up getting a double play on. He took a step to his right and then realized that he's got to hold his ground here, and Florimon was the cover man, and it sort of worked out for us because once the runner had to jump over the ball, it slowed him down. We were able to turn the double play. So the little things that happen in the game, there's so many things that happen that can make you winner or loser, and Vance seems to have some things going for him tonight. Keep it going.
Time call earlier, we showed you Byron Buxton, who's hitting leadoff for the Cedar Rapids Colonels, hit the walk-off grand slam, and I know you saw Buxton some in spring training and all that. Your thoughts about last year's #1 draft pick?
I'd like to trade places with him. My goodness gracious, what a talented young man and a nice young man. I mean, his parents did a wonderful job with this fella, and he's quiet, reserved. He's not afraid to ask a question, though, and speak up when he feels like he needs to ask and learn. And so he's got a very bright future ahead. He's a very fast base runner, and once he learns what he's doing out there, under the tutelage of Mr. Molidor, he's going to be something. And, can go from first to third, recognize the hits. He does a lot of things really, really well. And we were just talking about him before when he hit the grand slam. If you're the manager on the other team, it's the worst thing that can happen to you is that the fella hits it over the fence to make it 4 runs and you get walked off. You know, if he can even hit it off the wall, a double, you still don't lose, but he hits it 9 miles. Oh, gosh. Somebody's living wrong when that happens.
What about, because we can look at the numbers and they're very impressive, obviously, but what defensive skills does he have?
No, he runs so fast and his instincts are good in the outfield. And if he does make a mistake, they got so much speed. You know, in Hicksy, same way. He's got a lot of speed, can compensate if he makes a mistake or two. He can still get to the ball, and he's going to get better as we go. And Buxton's the same. Once he learns, and just by keep playing and playing and playing, and the good thing is the kid wants to learn. And that's really important part of it.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely, and plus he's got a boatload of talent.
Buchholz 3-0 to Dozier, and there's a strike. Buchholz splitting his attention between Dozier at the plate and Hicks at first. Peter Gammon saying the Twins are on the clock as baseball's next hot team, and Byron Buxton a big part of that, but so too Miguel Sano, Eddie Rosario, some young pitching prospects. 3-1. Hicks goes. It's ball 4. So not sure what happened there. Buchholz has been around a while. You'd like to think that his attention wouldn't be diverted too much from the batter, but he ends up walking Dozier on 5 pitches.
Yeah, he walked 2 batters last inning, so Buchholz's first 3 innings came very easy, 33 pitches, but he over this last inning, 26 pitches. Struggling a little bit here.
Mentioned that in Boston in the first inning, 36 pitches thrown to the Twins. He gave up just 2 runs, but now Parmley with a chance to do some damage. First and second, 1 out.
Certainly a good time to be a hitter. The pitcher's having a hard time throwing it over. It's a good chance to focus and get the bat ready to hit. See if Parm can get one ready.
Breaking ball, a check swing, ball 1. Twins had a chance in the 4th with the 2 out walks. Now a better chance here with a single and a walk and 1 out.
This might be a situation right here, TK, that you were talking about, the fastball. Buchholz fastball 91 to 93 range.
Once he missed with the breaking ball there, Bird, I think he's got to come fastball here. And it's Parm's job to, I mean, I think he'd be looking for fastball here and get ready to crank one up and hit the bat head out and see if we can hit a nice line drive somewhere. Good time to hit.
Through an off-speed pitch, 1-1.
It's not like the old days, Bert. Count on a fastball, change-ups, breaking
balls. This shows a confidence that Buchholz has on his other pitches rather than a fastball.
And the pitch was low, and it looked like a strike coming up there. We were talking about that today. Mr. Steinbach and I had a conversation about pitches that look like strikes and then get out of the zone.
Oh, there's that pitch inside, a fastball inside. Teams tend to want to go in there against Chris, and he fouled it off his front leg.
Yeah, I can't say it better than that, Dick. That's what most teams have been doing to Parm, is throwing a lot of fastballs.
Going fastball in, and even though you wear that pad, that still hurts.
He's still going to leave him one.
Buchholz struck him out in the first inning on a fastball in. He took for a call 3rd strike.
One and 2 to Parmalee with Willingham on deck. He's trying to tack on a run or 2 or 3 here in the 5th. Lace to right center field.
Get down.
Down for a hit. Throw to second, and just getting in there is Dozier. He went back, then he went again, and they're loaded up. And Parmalee drops a base hit in front of Nava.
Boy, that's a tough read for a base runner because you're kind of caught in the middle, you know, because you think that Nava's coming in, he's going to make a shoestring catch. It looked like a two-seamer right off the end of the bat. And Nava comes charging in. You see Dozier at the bottom of your screen. He plays it on that first hop, and Dozier able to get back.
Good job.
And connect,
Excellent job.
Correct himself and get to second base.
He held his ground, and I think he wanted to recognize it as a hit. Because if he catches this, I think he's going to get double. Whoa!
Now can I beat the ball to second? And
he didn't.
does.
He trusted himself. Then he got. Maybe I've made a mistake here.
Loaded up for Willingham, who asks for time. Josh has been called out on strikes in the first, and he fouled out to Karp, leading off the fourth.
Another thing that, excuse me, I'm sorry. Another thing I noticed that we're getting some breaks this year that we maybe didn't get last year or the year before when things were a little bit miserable. But this year I think we've gotten a few breaks along the way. So, you know, stuff like that where base running and ball drops in, or the runner jumping over a baseball and slowing down, and you get the double play. And I don't think a lot of those things happened the last year or two for us.
Buchholz challenging Willingham with a first pitch fastball and a swinging strike. Oh, nice stop by Saltalamacchia. 1-1.
Yeah, again, Josh came into this game 4 for 6 lifetime against Buchholz. 0 for 2 so far.
They get Willie going to get Joe back in the lineup, the hottest man in hitting in the world, and get him and Morneau. A very, very formative lineup, especially the guys in the middle. And fun to watch.
1-1. Oh, and Willingham has had an awful lot of borderline pitches called strikes on him. Thought that pitch was up high.
Eric Cooper's had a weird strike zone. Box track says it's just high.
You know, when you're not hitting well and not hitting as well as you can, and those calls seem to go against you. When you're hitting well, and those things end up in your favor.
Instead of 2-1, it's 1-2.
Breaking ball got him. 2 down, and that'll leave it to Morneau.
And Buchholz picks up a big strikeout, his 7th of the ball game, getting Willingham for the 2nd time on a called 3rd strike.
Yes. No quarrel about strike 3, but maybe strike 2, and now Morneau with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Came into the game 8 for 16 against Buchholz. A strikeout and a ground ball so far here tonight.
On the 11-game hitting streak, good time to extend that hitting streak.
Saw him do it in the Chicago series in a situation like this. In his MVP year of 2006, Morneau picked up more bases clearing doubles than anybody I've ever seen. And he got one in the White Sox series. He has a chance here against the Red Sox. A 1-0 pitch coming. Two and 0.
Trust him to throw a fastball here, Junior? Got to, no?
You would think it'd be something down and away. Don't want to miss inside to Morneau here.
You can see the pitch count, which has really spiked up over the last 2 innings. Buchholz has thrown a lot of pitches again here in the 5th after a long 4th. 2-0 to Morneau. Popped up foul over the Boston dugout.
Well, he got a fastball at 93.
Looked like country hardball. There's a reason the guy's 6-0, and he's got an assortment of pitches, as you said, Bird, where he's not afraid to throw them when he's behind in the count. And he's not afraid to use the change. He's not afraid to throw that little cut thing. And he can also throw that fastball at 93, 94.
2-1 to Morneau. Check swing and a foul. He struck out Morneau on a chest-high fastball. And I think that check swing was up there on the letters, too.
A lot of teams threw Justin up there for almost a full year, I think, and we're getting the ball by him. And just past couple of weeks or so, Justin's found a way to get to that pitch. And even though he did chase that high one the first time, or the last time up, but.
Well, that's a big pitch right here, 2-2. You don't want to go 3-2 if you're a pitcher.
There's a lot of hitters talk about this is the count and you got to win. You know, the 2-2, and the pitchers, I'm sure, feel the same. That they have to win this 2-2 count and 1-2-1 count. Big pitch.
And Morneau fights it off.
I saw Lamakia may have been crossed up right there. He moved inside and the ball left down and away.
I think that's that two-seamer he throws it, about 87, 88. I think that's. The ball really moves, I'll say that.
Now watch Salto Lamaka. He's sitting inside. He kind of looked out at him saying, hey, that's not what we're on the same page here.
He certainly wasn't expecting that.
No.
Another 2-2 to Justin Morneau. Popped up left field. And Gomes settles under it, and the Twins left 2 on in the 4th. 3 more here in the 5th. Pedro Florimon hit it just far enough.
Pretty good pitch right there. You see where that ball, did it hit the top?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. It went straight up in the air, I assume it.
Yeah, that went 350 feet and 4 inches.
At best.
David Ortiz will lead off the 6th. It's Worley starting the inning with 89 pitches thrown. Just off the plate, ball 1.
The best thing about the home run, it counted as 2.
Ortiz with a pair of singles. His first inning single with 2 out drove in the lone Boston run so far, an unearned run against Vance Worley. And a 3rd single with Ortiz going right up the middle. And Worley, who successfully pitched around a leadoff single in innings 4 and 5, will try to do it again in inning number 6. Here comes Will Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks is 0 for 2, a bouncer to 3rd and a liner to right field. Casey Fiend, Brian Dunsing warming up.
I believe this fellow can hit us that 6-4-3 ball as well.
We got 2 of them off the bat of Dustin Pedroia already tonight. Check swing and a called strike.
Man, Pedroia came into the game one of the hottest hitters in the American League.
Middlebrooks, since his collision with the catcher in Boston, is 8 for 27. with all 8 hits being extra base hits. On the outside corner, 0-2.
And he got robbed of one tonight.
Yeah. He says in a weird way, the rib injury that still bothers him. He takes a deep breath. He can still feel a sharp pain in his left rib cage area. It's cut down his swing, and the results have actually been encouraging for him. Bouncer to short. 6-4. 3. Third ground ball double play. Induced by Vance Worley.
You know, it helps right there. He went 0-2. He got ahead and then made him swing at that slider down and away. Almost the same pitches that Pedroia hit for ground balls. And a nice turn.
Can't practice any better than that.
Good feed to Dozier. Good relay over to Morneau.
Nothing to it.
As fundamental and as easy as they can make that look, that's precisely the type of play that the Twins have had problems with the last couple of years. I mean, there just seems to be.
I think as Bert just pointed out, the key was he's ahead in the count. He was throwing strikes. Even Ortiz, at least, you know, he was behind in the count to Ortiz and got a base hit up the middle. It didn't hurt him. But throwing strikes and getting ahead to the next hitter, and I think that was a big part of it.
Inside. 2-0.
Put the hitter on the defensive.
Well, the ball's hit on the ground now, and we anticipate a double play.
Why not? You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. At the knees, 2-1.
Tell you what, after that first inning, Worley threw a lot of pitches. He's really settled down. He's gotten some big double plays behind him, of course, but here he is trying to get through the 6th inning.
Keep going.
3-1. Gomes on deck.
I see the bullpen's getting ready, though. Looks like we're going to.
There's a 31 in the first, 18 in the second. Other than that, you know, that's the pitch count you want, other than the 31, to get deep into the ball game.
I think that's what you've been talking about just about every start for Vance.
Yep.
The early innings.
He's completed 6 innings, has not given up an earned run. Our thanks to Tom Kelly for stopping by. We'll look forward to many more visits this summer.
Appreciate that, Richard.
Skip, thank you.
Fox Sports North is presented by McDonald's. Catch a filet of fish extra value meal today. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find the nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Ryan Doman leads off the 6th for the Twins, and he takes an off-speed pitch. Strike 1. Well, Vance Worley's given the Twins a great chance to win a ball game. He's gone toe-to-toe with Clay Buchholz and gave up an unearned run in the first. Got some big ground balls when he needed to. Maybe not as many ground ball outs as he would like. But he got those ground balls in some key spots.
8 ground ball outs, 6 fly ball outs to go with his strikeout, and he's at 99 pitches. So, 6 innings, only 1 run, and that was an unearned run.
2 strikes to Domet. 6 of the 8 ground ball outs coming on 3 ground balls. And Domet's called out on strikes.
And strikeout number 8 in the ball game for Buchholz.
Join the Fox Sports North girls at the Fox Sports North viewing party Thursday, May 23rd, beginning at 5:30 p.m. from Maynard's on Lake Minnetonka in Excelsior. Watch Minnesota take on Detroit, win prizes. The best part, you can be on TV and meet Jenny, Kaylin, and Angie. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the upcoming events banner for details. Ball 1 to Oswaldo Arcia, who has not put a ball in play tonight. He struck out and walked. He's about due to step into one, Arcia. He just looks to me as a guy who, every 20 at bats or so, he's going to hit a home run.
If he had stepped into that first pitch, his shins would be hurting right now.
Don't you think? I mean, he just looks like he's going to catch up with one and hit it about 420 feet. On the outside corner, 1-2. Arcia's last home run against John Lackey at Fenway Park 22 at bats ago. It just feels.
So it's almost like a call.
Yeah, it feels like he's due to hit a home run. Maybe not against this guy. This guy's given up 2 home runs all year.
All 3 of his home runs have been against right-handed pitchers. 2 of them here.
Foul ball. Teams have gone after Arcia down and in a lot with 2 strikes. And he's swung over the top of a lot of breaking pitches.
Well, if TK was here, he would say, hey, scouting reports are out there now.
Right.
They're gonna pitch him a little bit differently the second time around than they did the first time.
Again, the target's inside, and it's tapped to the right side. Pedroia to Carp, 2 down. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. The Big Ten baseball tournament is coming here to Target Field next week. Check out the Big Ten's best, May 22nd through the 25th. It's the first time the Big Ten will hold its baseball tournament in a major league facility, and tickets are available. Find out how to take advantage of Big Ten baseball at Target Field by calling 833-TWINS for ticket prices and details. And then that makes you remember, too, that before the Twins ever played here, the Gopher baseball team played a game here at Target Field. Plouffe with a swing and a miss. Just an exhibition.
Right.
Kind of a dry run for the facilities people here and how to, handle fans coming through the turnstiles, concessions, security, everything. Grounds crew. 1 strike to Plouffe. Got the first Twins hit on the first pitch of the 3rd inning, driving a double off the fence in right center field. And Plouffe again with some disapproval.
Well, remember in his last at bat on a 2-1 pitch, it was a fastball that we showed on Fox Track was outside. Then he struck out on also a pitch outside. So right now, let's see if he goes back outside again. Make Plouffe swing at a pitch, fastball, probably off the plate. When that umpire gives that pitcher 2 or 3 inches on that outside part of the plate, now as a pitcher you can go a little bit further. But Salt Lamakia is sitting inside. And
I just don't think Eric Cooper's been very good tonight.
He's been a little inconsistent. But he's called some pitches high that we've shown that are high, and also the low fastball. So it's not like he's giving one or the other. I love him. He's calling strikes.
Popped up. And Carp will have another chance near the Twins dugout, but this one's about 6 rows back.
Take 4, please. Down 4.
Plouffe doubled on the first pitch in the third inning, went down swinging in the fourth, leaving a couple of runners aboard. The Twins left the bases full the next inning. And Buchholz has gotten the first two batters here in the sixth. Wouldn't have thought it, I don't think, after the first inning. But Worley completed 6 innings, and Buchholz may end up throwing more pitches through 6 innings than Worley. Worley's final pitch count, if he's done, was what after 6 innings?
99.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's number 98 for Buchholz.
Well, Buchholz had only 33 pitches in the first 3 innings, and then 52 in the fourth and fifth combined. So he walked 3 batters. Still no runs allowed, only a couple hits in those 2 innings, but a lot of pitches thrown.
Breaking ball missing, and it's 3-2 with Hicks on deck. So this will be pitch number 100 for Buchholz.
Buchholz's high on the season came against the Twins at Fenway Park, 116.
And Plouffe lines it to left, and Gomes staggers, makes a catch, and it's a 1-2-3 sixth inning.
Well, an unearned run scored for the Boston Red Sox. It was Buchholz in the first 2 innings that struck out 5 batters in a row at one time. Then Florimon in the 3rd inning, dropping the barrel of the bat with a big 2-run home run. Gave the Twins a 2-1 lead. And 3 double plays turned behind Vance Worley. 6 very, very good innings. 1 run allowed. There's an unearned run with 3 walks and a strikeout. So a quality start for Vance Worley as he comes out of the ball game. Through 99 pitches, 61 for strikes.
And Florimon's 2-run home run giving the Twins the lead. Johnny Gomes will face left-hander Brian Dunsing.
Dunsing coming in for the 18th time. He last worked on Wednesday. Got beat around a little bit. A third of an inning, gave up a couple runs. He left, and those runs ended up scoring.
So Dunsing, our century linked to what's next. Strike 1 to Gomes. He'll be pitching to the bottom third of the Boston lineup. Gomes, Carp, and Saltalamacchia.
See that, no home runs allowed. Opponents hitting .246.
It's off of Doman to the backstop. This, I think, gets back to where the Twins see Dunsing now. Dunsing doing much better so far this year against right-handed batters. This guy's in the Boston lineup because he can hit the ball out of the ballpark. But Dunsing, who in years past always had this wide spread between left-handers and right-handers, and he's really condensed that spread. Look at this against right-handers, 269. That's okay. He's still pretty good against lefties, and so he's allowed to start this 7th inning against a right-handed power hitter. And he misses outside. It's 3-1. Saltalamacchia, a switch hitter, but he's much better from the left side of the plate than the right. So it makes sense with the left hand hitting Carp batting second and with Saltalamacchia batting third. He's got to try to get the leadoff man, Gomes. Takes a strike, 3-2. Full count to Johnny Gomes. And off the end of the bat foul, close enough to the outside corner where Gomes offered at him.
And that's kind of where you want to pitch him, because you don't want to leave a mistake inside. He's got power, that short compact swing to hit one out.
Another 3-2 to Gomes. And he missed outside. The leadoff man's on. And that'll bring up Carp. Celebrate with the Twins the 20th anniversary of the Sandlot with a special screening on the Target Field scoreboard Sunday after the Twins game. Special guests include the director and narrator David Mickey Evans, plus Ham, who I met today, and other members from the cast. Get your tickets, go to the game, stay for the Sandlot screening. Brian Dunsing reminiscing with Ham and Squints. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it all from home on Sunday. Fox Sports North. Here's Carp. Check swing, and now Doman's got to go to the mound with Dunsing having a tough time throwing strikes. So I said, now you could tell, having watched that movie, that that's Ham, the catcher from the movie. Looks exactly like he did 20 years ago, only older.
And it looks like standing next to those players, they didn't grow any taller either. Same size. Rick Anderson out to talk to Dunsing, trying to get that ball back in the strike zone. We've seen Rick Anderson make trips out there and work his magic.
So I'm just setting up another double play. Again, Mike Napoli, normally the first baseman for the Red Sox, getting the day off. At least that's how it was explained by manager John Farrell. 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Good slider there.
Ready to go if called upon. One and one to Carp. Another breaking pitch, another swing and a miss.
Casey Fiend, who was up earlier, up again.
You got the lefty Carp up. Saltalamacchia, whose splits are pretty lopsided. Another left-handed batter in Ellsbury behind him. Got him looking with a fastball, and Dunsing rebounds after the leadoff walk with a quick strikeout of Carp.
Well, pretty good trip by the mound by the pitching coach. 3 pitches later, he gets him out. After 2 breaking balls, he just sneaks that fastball by Carp. Carp, I'm sure, looking breaking ball right there.
All the numbers that we get in preparing for a game, the Twins have available to them, and they're all processed long before we get them. And so they were looking at these numbers and said, hey, look, if Saltalamacchia is going to come up late in the game, we're going to try to have a left-handed pitcher face him. Here's a drive to right center field. And Parmalee cuts it off, and Saltalamacchia with a single. And it's just his third hit as a right-handed batter this year.
And 22 at-bats. So jumping on that first pitch, Saltalamacchia gets his second hit of the ball game. Puts runners at first and third for Jacoby Ellsbury.
Center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury.
Tying run now at third, one away. Ellsbury with a couple of flies to left and a comebacker to Worley way back in the first inning. Twins have pitched around a leadoff man reaching in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, and now the leadoff walk standing at third base. And off of Dunsing's glove, off of Floramone's glove, and Ellsbury drives in the tying run. It looked like Dunsing got a piece of it, and it may have caused Floramone to get kind of a weird hop out of the dirt behind second base.
Ellsbury, just like Saltalamacchia, jumping on that first pitch. A breaking ball. Short hopping Floramone. Don't know if Dunsing got a piece of that or not. But that little short hop right there, right off the tip of the glove. Tom Kelly was talking about the breaks of this game. That over 2 or 3 inches, that might be a double play. Instead, it's a RBI single for Ellsbury.
And now switch hitter Daniel Nava will hit. Dunsing has only retired one batter. Nava 50 points better from the other side of the plate. Pedroia, right-handed batter, up next. He'll likely face Fiend unless Dunsing can get a ground ball hit at somebody here. So the leadoff walk scores. Saltalamacchia and Ellsbury jump on the first pitch from Dunsing to get a pair of singles.
And keep an eye on Ellsbury. 12 stolen bases in 14 attempts.
Dozen steals, leading the American League entering play today. Byler, the first base coach for the Red Sox, telling Ellsbury something. There goes Ellsbury, and the pitch taken for a strike. The throw coming through. And it's a stolen base for Ellsbury.
Right, he had got a great pitch to run on right there. Big, slow breaking ball. Ellsbury stealing a base, his 13th. And the double play is no longer in order. Big breaking ball. Good throw by Doman right there.
Look at Ellsbury. He was looking in at the plate almost his entire way to second base. Shortening up the infield now a little bit here. Saltalamacchia didn't run well, so the Twins don't have to bring the infield all the way in. Go ahead run at third, another runner at second. One strike to Daniel Nava. And now 2 strikes. Nava 100 now with tonight's play has reached all 3 times, a pair of singles, but 110 at bats, 22 strikeouts. But as a right-handed batter, 21 at bats, 7 strikeouts. Dunsing's going to try to get strike 3 here, and then we'll probably leave the game.
Nava from Northern California. He attended Santa Clara University. He was a non-drafted player. Ended up playing independent ball, signed by the Boston Red Sox. So he didn't give up on his ability. This is his 3rd season with the Red Sox.
2 strikes to Daniel Nava. Breaking ball. Dolan with a nice block.
That ball looked like it landed in front of home plate. Dolan utilizing everything he can, his chest protector, whatever, to knock it down. Ball has a lot of spin on it.
Almost looked like it hit the front edge of the plate. Nope.
Yep, in front of the plate. Look at Dolan. Put your body out there. Great block.
1-2. Check swing, but he went. And Dolan tags him for the out, and Dunsing gets his strikeout. And Dolan may have blocked that with his bare hand, and Pedroia will have another at bat with men on base, but he'll be facing Casey Fiend with 2 out in the inning.
A big strikeout for Dunsing right there. Dunsing needed a strikeout. And Nava swings through it. Dolan knocks it down. Gets the second out.
In a tie game. Pitching change. Walk, and we're tied now. Single game suite rentals make seeing a game at Target Field an extra special experience. Though most suites are spoken for the 2013 season, they do remain available for the holiday week of July 1st through the 4th when the Twins host the New York Yankees. Yankee Series suites accommodate from 16 to 50 guests. That includes food and beverage. Find out more by calling 612-375-7454 or visiting twinsbaseball.com/groups.
You look at Brian Dunsing. I'm sure he's upset at that at-bat with Gomes. That first batter he faced, he ended up walking him. What's he do? He scores. Now it's up to Casey Fiend to try to get Dustin Pedroia out here for the final out here in the 7th inning.
Pedroia's hit 3 ground balls to Brian Dozier. 2 of them, the last 2, have been turned into double plays. And 1-1.
Fiend making his 20th relief appearance.
Breaking ball skied in the air. Dozier makes the catch. I thought Orno was going to call him off. The tying run scores, but the Red Sox leave 2 in scoring position. It's 2 apiece. pitched awfully well again here tonight.
Right, really has. Buchholz with 8 strikeouts in a ball game, 5 of them coming in the first and second inning in a row. So Buchholz struggled a little bit in the 4th and 5th, but didn't allow any runs, but he threw a lot of pitches and then had a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Right now at 100 pitches, 65 first strikes for Buchholz, and he's out there for the 7th inning.
Aaron Hicks to lead things off, bunting it right back to the mound. Rod Carew won't be very happy with that. 1 away.
I think what he was trying to do right there is make Pedroia come in, get the ball towards second base and take it with him. Middlebrooks was already playing in on the grass at third.
So one very quick out. Florimone, the batter. A 2-run home run against Buchholz back in the 3rd inning.
You know, even though Hicks didn't, get it down the way he wanted to, it's good to see him try to do that, though. He hasn't really attempted a lot of bunts. That was unsuccessful.
Florimone takes one at the
But
knees.
I think if Hicks stays, with a big league club in the years to come, you're going to see him. That's part of his game.
Right. Florimone took one at the knees, another one at the belt. 0-2 quickly. One and 2. Twins had a chance in the 4th. Buchholz gave him the chance. A pair of 2-out walks. And Hicks with a single, Dozier with a walk, Parmalee with a single, but then Buchholz buckled it down and got Willingham and Morneau to keep it a 2-1 ball game. Right up the middle. Backhanded by Pedroia. Comes up firing. Great play again by Pedroia. Second outstanding play he's made. Going to his right.
Well, in the bottom of the 1st inning against Brian Dozier, the first batter that Buchholz faced, he made a great play up the middle. And right here, Florimone hitting it sharply. And he turned around and spun very quickly. Nice play. Able to get the out at first. That's how you win Gold Gloves right there.
And league MVPs.
He has not made an error yet at second. Yep.
Here's Dozier. Breaking ball missing. Dozier with just 1 home run. It was a late inning home run against the Red Sox at Fenway Park. A 9th inning home run that tied the game. Look at that.
Yep.
1-0. And Dozier takes a strike. Really within all of that. I mean, look at Pedroia's at bats. It's been maybe the most frustrating night of his year. He's hit into 2 ground ball double plays. He popped up just a moment ago with runner at 3rd and 2nd. 2-1 to Dozier. Swing and a miss, 2-2. But
he's a gamer. He knows, I may not do it on one side, but I'll take care of it on the other side, and he has defensively. Jared Burton up, but you look at what Buchholz's been able to do. This is his 9th start. In 8 of his 9 starts, he's been able to pitch at least 7 innings. If he gets this final out here,
2-2.
That's consistency.
And he strikes
and
out.
He
Dozier.
does.
And if he's done after 7, he finished with a flourish, retiring the last 8 batters. By the way, is Squints. And our leading vote getter is Ham. Patrick Runner is his name. And there you see the balloting. We're going to keep ask you to keep voting, and we'll have the final results for you on Sunday. It's Andrew Height, the Twins media relations and liaison, hanging out with the celebs.
I think he's a big shot, Andrew.
Well, here's Jared Burton coming into the game to pitch to the Red Sox in the 8th inning.
Burton coming in for the 19th time. He worked last on Monday against the Chicago White Sox. One shutout inning. Twins won that game 10-3. Burton done a great job out there. He, like Dunsing, has not allowed any home runs yet this year. Holst bullpen has allowed only 9 home runs on the year. They've done a great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Well, the Twins have kept David Ortiz in the ballpark, but he's got 3 singles.
That's okay, because he clogs up the bases when he gets a base hit. You mentioned that earlier.
Ortiz, Middlebrooks, and Drew, and there's ball 1 to Ortiz. Not sure why this is. But David Ortiz has never faced Jared Burton. I think when we played the Red Sox late in the season last year, Ortiz might have already been shelved on the disabled list. So Ortiz getting his first look at Burton's changeup. A roller to second base, and from short right field, Dozier throws him out, 1 away.
Let's talk a little bit about their bullpen, how well they've done this year. You can see the innings pitched, a lot of innings, 5th most in the American League. Outstanding combined earned run average, 26 holes, 2nd best, only 9 saves. And Burton has one of those. Perkins has the other 8.
Middlebrooks 0 for 3 in the game, bounced into a double play his last time up. Pulled to third. Plouffe has it. Over to Morneau. 2 down. The Twins have had success at Fenway Park against the Red Sox, both last year and this year. A lot of that success has come against the Boston bullpen, and it looks like Twins are about to get into that Boston bullpen. It looks like big Andrew Miller warming up down in the Boston pen. Stephen Drew will hit. He's lined out twice to Oswaldo Arcia in left field and drawn a walk. There's the big left-hander. Strike 1 to Drew. Twins can play the late innings here because, as if they have the lead, because you're the home team, you're not going to have a save situation past the 9th inning anyway. Check swing, strike 2. So that means the starter gave him 6. A couple of relievers got him through the 7th. Burton gets the 8th. Perkins, one way or the other, will get the 9th, you would think. Two strikes to Drew. Drive to right center field. And it's a base hit. Drew will round, and he'll try for second. And he'll be in safely. And keeping his hand on the bag is Stephen Drew. Now remember, the one game the Twins lost in Boston was when the Red Sox put together 3 straight 2-out hits, and now Drew comes up wincing at second base.
Sliding on the infield side, maybe twisted something. His lower back, that's what he's feeling. This ball hit in the gap. Aaron Hicks has to hustle over there, make the spin around throw, and it's a strong throw. And Drew, you see him kind of hooking that bag.
And Dozier's ankle.
Flormone right there, putting the tag on him, hoping that his hand comes off the bag.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox are already without Shane Victorino, who retweaked his back in the 8th inning last night. Drew's problem in spring training was a concussion that he suffered in a game against the Twins. He was hitting the helmet by a pitch. So Burton will go after Gomes, hoping that he doesn't give up another 2-out hit to the Red Sox. It was a walk-off win for the Red Sox, their only win against the Twins. And Burton just got a couple of very quick outs.
The left fielder, Johnny Gomes.
And then the Red Sox got 3 straight.
Drew on that
singles.
double. That's his 5th double of the year.
It was Drew finishing off the ball game for the Red Sox with the 3rd consecutive single against Burton back on the 6th of May. Here's Johnny Gomes. Swing and a miss.
Well, these two guys were teammates back in 2009 to 2011 with the Cincinnati Reds. Gomes and Burton.
Doma with a block. 1-1. Gomes drew the walk against Brian Dunsing and came around to score on Ellsbury's single. That tied the game in the 7th inning. Caught the inside corner with another breaking pitch. Gomes, I think, has seen 2 sliders with the changeup in the dirt.
You see where Domet wants that pitch away, but the ball inside called a strike.
Check swing. Nope. First base umpire Paul Schreiber.
Yeah, that was a changeup. Had some good dip on it right there, down and in.
And again, it's not a big separation in terms of velocity from his fastball. That was clocked at what, 87?
87, yeah.
2-2 to Johnny Gomes, and Burton wants a new sequence of signs.
Just showed you Buchholz right there. Looked like his night is done. 110 pitches.
Two and two to Gomes. Wouldn't bite. Threw him another breaking pitch down and away, and Gomes, who drew a walk in the 7th inning, now has a full count with Mike Carp on deck.
Don't be surprised if Burton right here pulls the string on that changeup because it has such good movement on it.
Full count. Left hand hitting Mike Carp on deck. And Gomes draws another walk.
Looks like he went back to the slider again and missed down and away.
So that'll bring up Carp. Boston manager John Farrell, a little handcuffed with Victorino on the active roster, but unavailable to play. Napoli, they're trying to give him a complete night off. So you have the backup catcher Ryan Lavarnway and middle infielder Pedro Siriaco. Many options here as we go through the bottom of the lineup. Just outside with a changeup. Swing and a miss when Burton uncharacteristically gave up 3 straight hits to lose the ball game at Fenway. It was the bottom of the order for Boston that did him in. Now Drew, the 6th place hitter, getting a double. Gomes walking. Now the 8th place hitter, Mike Cart. 2-1.
Another changeup, just missing low.
Three and one. Saltalamacchia on deck. Burton suddenly having a tough time throwing strikes after the Drew double. Foul back, 3-2. You know, eventually you can imagine the Twins adding another left-handed reliever, because the 2 lefties, one of them's a closer, so Perkins not a factor in a situation like this. They've already used Dunsing. The Twins today released one of the candidates for that, Rafael Perez, who they signed and envisioned eventually making the bullpen for the Twins.
Yeah, it wasn't an injury reason, it was just bad performance reasons.
3-2. Called third strike. He floated the changeup over and got Carp looking. And the Red Sox leave 2 on in the top of the 8th.
To the bottom of the 8th. Be sure to stick around after the game whenever it ends for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll talk about a solid start tonight for Vance Worley. We'll also talk about some solid play at second base from both teams. We saw Dustin Pedroia making some great plays. Also, Brian Dozier turning 2 on a couple instances. All of that, and of course, hear from manager Ron Gardenhire after the game on Twins Live. Dick and Bert.
Well, thank you, Jamie. See if the Twins can continue to do some damage against the Boston bullpen. And it'll be Andrew Miller, their first guy out of the pen, that's acknowledged that before the Twins faced Clay Buchholz in Boston, he'd won 6 straight starts, and now that's 3 straight no decisions for one of the better starters in the league.
Well, you never know what you're going to get out of Andrew Miller. Here's a guy that's making his 19th appearance. He's worked only 11 1/3 innings. He has 8 walks and 20 strikeouts. So he can be wild, but he can also strike you out in a heartbeat. Hard throwing lefty.
Strike 1. Now, Parmalee actually hitting left-handers better than right-handers. And Miller's really had a tough time getting left-handed batters out this year. Breaking ball over, and he gets ahead of Parmalee quickly. 0-2. Left-handers are hitting .333 against Andrew Miller. Josh Willingham and then Justin Morneau. 1-2. Parmalee on the night. Called out on strikes in the first, popped up in the third, and then dropped a single in front of Nava in the fifth. Back. Cleveland in 10 innings beat Seattle 6-3.
Well, Miller, a tall drink of water, 6'7". In his third season with the Red Sox, had some injury problems last year.
One and two. And a breaking pitch low, 2-2.
Remember when he first came up with the Detroit Tigers, they were their #1 pick. He was going to be their future starter, but it just didn't work out for him.
They put him on their playoff roster the year they drafted him. Fastball on the outside corner. And now Parmalee squawks at Eric Cooper. On down, that'll bring up Willingham.
Pitcher's duel here tonight. Pedro Florimon with his second home run of the year. It's a 2-run home run. Vance Worley, 6 very good innings, 3 double plays turned behind him. Jacoby Ellsbury with an RBI single in the 7th. That tied the game at 2 apiece.
Willingham takes a breaking pitch in, strike one.
Clay Buchholz, 7 very good innings. Allowed only 4 hits, 2 runs, the Florimon home run. 3 walks, 9 strikeouts.
0-2, and Willingham won't look back at Eric Cooper. Willingham's had a tough day at the plate. He's been called out twice already. Willingham has struggled this year, particularly against left-handers. Last year, he hit 15 home runs and 156 at-bats against lefties. This year he's hit just 1 against lefties. 1-2. 2-2. Perkins warming up for the 9th inning, whether the Twins take the lead or not. Fly ball, right center field. Ellsbury runs in, makes the catch, 2 away. And that'll bring up Morneau.
The first baseman, Justin Morneau.
Morneau doing okay against lefties, hitting .268 against them. 0 for 3 tonight, the average dipping below the 300 mark. Kind of liking the Fu Manchu mustache.
Makes him look mean, doesn't it?
Waves at strike one.
That's a nasty slider from a guy 6'7". Kind of throws a little bit across his body.
Red Sox put Andrew Bailey on the disabled list early in the series at Fenway Park, and then Joel Hanrahan. Another breaking pitch, another swing and a miss. They were thinking of adding Bailey to the active roster for this series. Instead, he's going to get a rehab appearance for Pawtucket.
Yeah, John Farrell said it had been 19 days. He's got to at least get some work in the minor leagues before they activate him. And the third straight slider is taken for a ball.
One and two.
And guess what? Another slider.
Saltalamacchia throws to first, completing the strikeout. Miller cuts through the Twins in the 8th. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain weekend weather update for Twins territory. clouds suspended over and now into the Twin Cities area. Haven't had any precipitation since about 3:30 this afternoon.
Glenn Perkins coming in. He will pitch to the Red Sox on the top of the ninth inning, making his 15th appearance. Worked one shutout inning on Wednesday. First time he'd been on the mound in about 6 days.
Jared Saltalamacchia, who hardly gave us the opportunity to tell us how futile his at-bats had been against left-handers. And he goes after the first pitch here, and that a piece of Domit. Saltalamacchia in the 7th inning against Brian Dunsing cracked the first pitch he saw for just his 3rd hit against a left-hander this year. He goes after the first pitch against Perkins. Goes after the second pitch.
A 96-mile-an-hour fastball thrown right by him.
That's what we've seen Perkins do regularly to right-handed batters through pitch 97 miles per hour in off the plate to a right-handed batter.
He's got that nasty slider. Here it comes. No, go back with the fastball. Inside. Left it out a little bit. Saltalamacchia fouled it off. See if he goes with Domit now on that slider. There he goes. Get it down and in. Fouled off again.
Another 1-2 to Saltalamacchia. Fastball just missed inside. 2-2. Miller got that one on the head. That foul ball hit the top of the dugout and came down and hit him on the noggin.
Sometimes you can't hide.
Swing and a miss. That ball rolls away from Domit. He has time to throw to first to complete the strikeout, and his throw made Morneau stretch to his limits. One away.
Ball squirted away from Domit. That breaking ball down, but Domit able to get over there quickly and get the out.
Center fielder, Jacoby Ellsbury.
The Morneau stretch. Keeping that foot on the bag. One away. And now Jacoby Ellsbury, who singled in the tying run in the 7th. Breaking ball left up and in. Strike on the outside corner. Strike 2.
Just watching Perkins' delivery. Very solid delivery. Good arm extension. Fastball away. Reach out there. Not an overly high leg kick, but he gets out there, pushes off that pitching rubber. See the arm coming all the way through, whipping through.
Sharply hit. Florimone bobbles it, picks it up, fires. Still got him. That's an arm. Ellsbury about as fast as they come getting down the line. Florimone bobbled it and still gunned him out.
Oh, the ball hit sharply, and that helped Florimone right there. He didn't panic. Ended up barehanding the ball after the ball kind of clanked in his glove. Let's take a look right here. Kind of lost it, but he barehanded it and then showed off that strong arm to get to Speedy Ellsbury. The ball hit sharply. Pick it up. Nice play.
2 down. Here's Daniel Nava. Missing inside, ball 1.
Bang, bang play at first base.
Yep. Another nice stretch by Morneau. 1-0. 2-0. I don't know the Twins want to tempt fate with Pedroia in the on-deck circle. He's had a frustrating night at the plate. I don't know that you want to put him up there with a man aboard here. Two-0. That's doinked down the line, but it's foul. Two and one.
That was a nice play by the ball man down the right field line. As soon as that ball was hit, he was off running. Beat Parmalee.
Got a good break.
Yeah, got a real good break.
Question is, can he go to his left?
Not very far. He's right against the wall.
Another foul, 2-2. Two and two. Boston's right fielder. Now it's a full count. Ryan Domak will lead off the bottom of the ninth. Garcia will hit. Bloof. And Hicks. Hoping to get there in a tie game. 3-2 with Pedroia on deck. Got him with the slider. Perkins pitches a 1-2-3. Top of the ninth. Twins have had just one walk-off win this year. See if somebody can step up and give them number 2. Dome with 3 home runs, 2 of them against the Red Sox.
Yeah, why not? Let's just end it right here. Taking it over the green monster. And he said, you know what, that's too easy. I'll hit it out to the bullpen area.
In tonight's game, he hasn't put a ball in play. He's walked and struck out twice. Don't need a walk-off home run. trying to get aboard here would, as we've seen so many times, completely change the complexion of the inning. And Miller delivers low, ball one. Miller had a really good 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. Off the plate 2-0. You talked about Miller's Achilles heel has been his control at times. That's as much as anything is what's kept him from being a reliable relief pitcher. A strike.
Well, he's blessed with a great arm. #1 pick by the Detroit Tigers.
Bowman facing him for the first time. Bouncer to short. Easy play for Drew. 1 down. And that'll bring up Oswaldo Arcia.
Yeah, the only other win the Twins won late in the ballgame, that was early on April 3rd against the Detroit Tigers. Remember, Escobar hit the double that scored a couple runs, and it was Glenn Perkins that picked up the save in that, or excuse me, the win in that ballgame. They beat the Tigers 3-2.
And he would be the pitcher of record if they did it again here in the bottom of the 9th. Arcia strikeout, ground ball, and a walk. And he takes at the knee, strike 1. Arcia faced Miller in Boston, and Miller struck him out. Fouled away. 2 strikes.
I think as a left-handed hitter, you face a guy like Miller, and you fall off a pitch like that that's probably hittable. Now you get into that slider mode. You saw the sliders he threw to Justin that struck him out. 4 straight sliders. There's another nasty slider.
2 down.
So Miller comes in and picks up his 3rd strikeout in relief. 12 strikeouts with Twins batters tonight. Buchholz had 9. Miller picking up his 3rd in an inning and 2/3.
Trevor Plouffe is hitting .400 against left-handed pitchers, but he won't face a lefty here in the 9th inning. The Red Sox get Miller out of the game, and Plouffe will hit against a right-hander when we come back. Alex Wilson, the new Boston pitcher. Wilson's been pretty good for the Red Sox, making his 12th appearance of the year.
Yeah, his rookie season. Wilson, born in Saudi Arabia. His dad was working for Texaco when he was born there. And attended Texas A&M, signed by the Boston Red Sox in 2009. This is his rookie season, making just his 12th Major League appearance. He faced the Twins in Boston at Fenway Park. 2 1/3 shutout baseball. Got a report on Wilson. Good sinking fastball. Very good slider. He was, they said in the Boston organization, he had the best slider in their system.
Plouffe takes a slider for a strike. Plouffe with a double off the wall in right center in the third inning. He scored on Floremont's home run. Since then, a strikeout and fly to left. Fly ball center field. Retreating is Ellsbury. And we'll have extra innings here at Target Field in the opener with the Red Sox tied at 2. Innings are presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Boy, do you have a wild side, Dick?
I do. It's not too far away from my tame side, but I do have a wild side.
Well, Josh Renicky coming into the bullpen, out of the bullpen, making his 15th relief appearance. He worked on Wednesday. Ended up giving that 2-run home run to Adam Dunn. Twins lost that ball game 9-4.
Twins in Boston lost an extra inning game, the series opener. In fact, won 11 innings before the home team won. And Ron Gardenhire hoping that the home team will win the extra inning game here tonight. Pedroia will lead things off 0 for 4. He's hit the ball to Brian Dozier 4 times, once in the air, 3 times on the ground. Strike 1. Won't be easy for Renicky. He's got to face the 3, 4, and 5 batters for Boston: Pedroia, Ortiz, and Middlebrooks. Past Morneau into right field, so Pedroia finally gets a hit, finding some room through the right side of the infield. The leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Ortiz.
Put some speed on the bases too.
Yeah. Renicky will have to keep an eye on Pedroia with Ortiz at the plate.
Pedroia with 8 stolen bases in 9 attempts.
Twins won't shift with the runner at first and Ortiz at the plate. 3 singles for the big man. Down and in, ball 1. An RBI single in the first. Twins have turned 3 ground ball double plays tonight. 2 of them off the bat of Pedroia. Domet finds it quickly, and that keeps Pedroia at first.
Good stop again by Domet.
2-0.
The ball landing looked like in front of home plate again, and Domet knocking it down. Pedroia thought about going, but then that ball fell right to the side of Domet.
Swing and a miss. Ortiz kind of buckled in his follow through there. We've mentioned before he's had a problem with an oblique. Something didn't look right on that follow through. 2-1. Three and one.
Let's take a look at the 2-0 swing by David Ortiz.
Looks like something
kind of buckled a little bit.
Pinched him a little bit. Last thing you want to do is walk him here, so you got to throw a strike. 3-1.
Dangerous pitch.
And he walks him. First and second, nobody out. And Middlebrooks, the batter. Really not much. They are going to run Siriaco for Ortiz, so Ortiz out of the ball game. He's reached 4 times. A terrible situation now for Renicky, and Rick Anderson's got to come to the mound. Twins won their first extra inning game. They've lost 3 straight. Middlebrooks is 0 for 4. He has his own rib cage issues after taking Ross's shin guards in his left rib cage at Fenway Park a week and a half ago.
And Middlebrooks not the type of guy that's going to try to lay down a bunt either.
Anthony Swarzak starting to get loose.
Morneau and Plouffe about even with the bag. Middlebrooks rounded into a double play in the 6th inning.
Ball 1. Been a long slump for Middlebrooks, and there were signs he was starting to break out of it, but 0 for 4 tonight. Got the big game-winning hit for the Red Sox in the 9th inning last night, squaring now and bunting up the line.
Oh.
And Renicky flips to first. Middlebrooks with a sacrifice. 1 away. 2 men in scoring position.
His first sacrifice of the year. And for the Red Sox, only their 3rd. So Middlebrooks asked to bunt. He does a good job of laying down the bunt and advancing both runners.
The left-hand hitting Stephen Drew, then the right-hand hitting Johnny Gomes. So we'll see whether the Twins pitch to Drew.
Now they're going to walk him.
So they'll be loaded up with 1 out for Johnny Gomes. Gomes early in game 2 at Fenway Park hit a grand slam against the Twins, against Pedro Hernandez. Here Renicky trying to get him to hit it on the ground.
You need a ground ball right here. Yep.
A ground out in the 2nd, a line out in the 4th, and then a pair of walks for Gomes. Gomes has not grounded into a double play yet this year.
Means he's due.
Grand slam number 4 coming at the expense of the Twins. Smothered by Domet. Boy, he's had about 8 pitches he's had to block, and he's gotten them all. Fouled away 1-1. Now, a couple of these walks have been intentional, but for Renicky now 20 innings pitched and 11 walks. Walking Ortiz unintentional. Walking Drew was intentional. One and one to Johnny Gomes. Needs to get ahead of him here in the 10th inning. High fly left center field. Tagging is Pedroia. Hicks with the catch. Double clutching. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Hicks, as he should have, called off Arcia, but then he had a hard time getting a grip on the baseball.
Well, he may have come in contact with Arcia, and right there, Hicks trying to take control and really set up to make a good throw. He's yelling, "I've got it, I've got it," but you can see Arcia right there. Don't know if he made contact, but he had a little trouble getting that ball to home plate. But Pedroia, even, with a good throw, Pedroia and his speed probably would have scored.
So the Red Sox take the lead in the 10th. And here's Mike Karp with 2 men still out there. Off-speed pitch hits the corner.
That's a learning experience for Arcia right there, because Hicks is coming right toward home plate, and Arcia, if he had caught that ball, his momentum's going towards center field. So he had to back away and let Hicks do his thing.
Watch Hicks's footwork here.
Yep. You can see he knows Arcia's right there, and he caught the ball, but kind of messed up his timing to make a good throw home.
1-1 to Karp. Ooh, that just missed the bag.
I think we both went ooh at the same time.
Not a good swing by Karp, but he nearly cued it right on top of the bag. A leadoff single by Pedroia has given the Red Sox the lead here. 1-2. Dribbled to Morneau. He'll make the play himself. Twins will try to get one back in the bottom of the 10th. Trailing Boston 3-2. Nice fly that plated the third Boston run. Pedroia coming in from third base. So now I guess we have to say that this guy is the fourth string of closer for the Red Sox. Andrew Bailey not quite ready to rejoin the roster. Joel Hanrahan's done for the year. He had major surgery yesterday. Tozawa got the win last night, but he pitched 2 innings, so he's unavailable tonight.
They mentioned Bailey going to be activated maybe Monday, so Uehara coming into the ball game, making his 18th relief appearance, looking for save number 1. Uehara in his first season with Boston, signed as a free agent over the winter. Last couple of years with the Texas Rangers, prior to that with the Baltimore Orioles.
Aaron Hicks will lead things off. Pedro Florimon scheduled to bat second. Then Brian Dozier. The Twins technically entering this inning with a bench of Mauer, Escobar, Carroll, and Ramirez, but we were told Mauer would only be used in the event of an emergency to Ryan Doman. There's strike 1 to Hicks. Ground ball, opposite field single, hit sharply, and then a bunt attempt that went right back to the mound.
Uehara has 14 major league saves, 1 coming last year with the Rangers, 13 with Baltimore.
0-2 to Hicks. Trying to get aboard as Pedroia did for the Red Sox in the top of this inning. Off the plate, 1-2. Hicks has never seen Uehara. In fact, Twins don't have much history with him. No one other than Josh Willingham has more than 1 at bat against him. And Hicks with a take, 2-2. Good check by Hicks to even the count. And a foul. He just tapped it foul out of Saltalamakia's mitt.
Uehara, 38 years old, from Japan, came over in 2009 when he signed with the Orioles.
Checked his swing again, and a pitch just low. So Hicks has worked it back from 0-2 to 3-2. Florimon on deck. A high fly to left. Gomes makes a catch. 1 down. And Florimon will hit.
Tell you what, the bullpen, along with Buchholz starting the 6th inning, should basically shut down the Twins offense. Twins' last hit was off the bat of Chris Parmelee in the 5th inning.
Red Sox relievers were supposed to be good, just not these relievers. It was going to be Bailey, it was going to be Hanrahan, Daniel Bard, all these guys. Bard's in the minor leagues now, really struggling with his control. Here's Florimon. Changeup floats over, strike 1. Florimon hooked a curveball just over the wall and right for a 2-run home run. That's been it for the Twins scoring.
Off the plate, Buchholz, a breaking ball, first pitch, and it golfed it right down that right field line. Gave the Twins an early 2-1 lead.
And Uehara misses up high again, 2-1. 10 pitches, 5 strikes for Uehara. Wilkin Ramirez has replaced Dozier in the on-deck circle. Two and 2. Strike 3. 2 down. So it'll be left to the pinch hitter, Wilkin Ramirez.
A lot of strikeouts tonight for the Twins. Total of 13 so far in this ball game.
Ramirez, the top pinch hitter for the Twins. A couple of hits in 8 at bats. Brian Doman's also been used off the bench. Strike one. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Strike two.
It's not a big slider. It's almost like a little cutter, but great location, down and away.
One and two. Ramirez trying to keep the game alive for Chris Parmalee. And the Red Sox win the opener against the Twins, as they did in Fenway Park, in extra innings. Tonight, just one extra inning and a 3-2 win. Anthony LaPanta, the Twins will hope to do in Minnesota against the Red Sox what they did in Boston, lose the opener, then win the rest.
They'll have to stop a Red Sox team that's now won 6 of 7 in this ballpark. 3-2 the final. We'll hear from Ron Gardenhire. Take a look at defense at second base. Preview the rest of the series next on Twins Live.